we bring passion, we bring empathy, but we also bring the fight. Like if we can do it in the streets with folks, we can do it at the Board of Education. We can do it at the Metro Council. We can do it at the state because we already got experience in that. And if we ain't afraid of people in our own community who we know are tough, we definitely not going to be afraid of people in suits.
Right. You're right about that. But it seems that we're more prevalent to fight for ignorance versus fighting for good in our communities. And that's the part that gets me a lot of times. But I started this whole thing, the kickback, and it's my way of fighting for my community because I'm a man and I'm a father and I'm a brother and I'm an uncle and I'm a cousin. And I feel like that we need more places for men to have conversations and understand that life ain't always easy and you do not have to live in silence. Now, yeah, we got you here tonight to talk about the things that we're talking about, but it's educational for men that don't know that there is someone here to fight for their children and fight for their community.
Yep.
So it is, and being a man and being a father, we are the head of the household. We are the head of the communities. So if we don't start with us, then it's all going to fall down. Years ago, there was a falling out of the male role in the household when crack hit the streets and welfare was really prevalent. It was either we gonna give you this check and we're gonna give you this apartment, or you gonna keep this man. And so they kicked the men out of the house and they gave you this apartment and they gave you this welfare. And we stopped becoming the head of the households. We started becoming, how do I say it? We sort of became lost.
Yeah, bottom of the barrel.
Right.
Black man, bottom of the barrel. But I'm going back to that. Like it wasn't a coincidence, right? When as we think about the history, families, black families raised whole families in the projects, and then they passed a simple policy, not a law, that said that the man cannot be in the house. And, as soon as that policy was passed, women ignored it until it was an argument or a fight. And then they knew the power they had, and they used that power to put us out. And so what do? We got to survive. Like, we gonna survive, and we may do, and we have done some illegal things, but it started with a policy that decimated our community. And so we got to figure out, how do we retract those policies? How do we make sure we have policies that encourage family involvement and not take it away?
Right. And that's why I said the whole thing with knowing your congressman, knowing your senator, knowing your alderman, knowing the people that are in your local community, along with knowing the people who are at the top, we can change some of those policies and procedures. But like you said, we have to, one person can stand up and they can beat their chest and they can fight all day long. But yes, if you have a room of 7, 8, 10, 20 people that signed on and are ready to fight for the injustices that our society, our government, or whoever is deeming they wanted to put on us at that time, then the fight is a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So go ahead, my brother.
Yeah, but and that's what I'm agreeing with you. Like we got to keep encouraging men. Like I'm at this recital now, and I'm gonna have to drop off shortly. But it's a lot of fathers out here. But you know what I realized? Like they was, and again, excuse my language, but they was talking shit like, fathers ain't around. And every event I go to at the school, you see just as many fathers as the mothers. You see the fathers coming in right before it start. They're excited. They're sitting down because they just getting off work. And so we got to also change the narrative and let them know. I think I seen somebody stronger with my father, my guy Marcus, who's, encouraging and creating great visibility for young black men and others who want to be better than their father. Because I grew up saying that my dad wasn't around, and so all I ever wanted to do for my kids is make sure I'm there for them.
Same here. Same here. I grew up in a single parent home just as well. And when I had my first daughter, I made a promise to myself, her, and God that I would never not be in this child's life, and I would never be like my father.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah. So real quick, because I know you just said you'll have to jump off here real soon. What events does Propel have coming up here in the near future that you can shout out so everyone will know where they can find you, find Propel, or any? Do you know any of the events
Yep.
that's going on?
I do. So I would say one, like check out our Facebook page, our Instagram, and our YouTube. It keeps you abreast. And so right now we're in a campaign. Right now we're educating the community. So the district is doing the best it can based on accountability, but the best it can ain't doing well for our kids. And so we got 85% of our kids who are graduating from high school is what they promote, but only 30% of our elementary kids are reading on grade level. And that number doesn't grow in middle school. It actually goes, a percentage point backwards. In high school, it pretty much stays the same, or it goes a little bit 1 percentage point behind or 1 percentage point ahead. And so what we're doing right now is educating parents on, although they're graduating at the highest number they ever graduated from, they're reading on the lowest level they have ever been tested to read from. And so we got to disconnect. And so pretty soon we're going to be going up to the local board of education, but also going up to the state to talk to policymakers about creating laws that have more accountability, intervention, so we can make sure our kids are not graduating and they can't read the diploma which was given to them.
That is wild, man. That is really wild. But that is the truth. That is really the truth. Now, what is speaker series?
So, speaker series is just an opportunity. It's an opportunity to bring in experts. It may be an expert on the IEP, which is the Individualized Education Plan, which is special education. It may be the Commissioner of Education for the state. It may be the superintendent. It may be a civil rights leader. And so those are just some of the examples of people we have had. And we just give them an hour to have a platform to talk about what they specialize in. And so that's our speaker series.
All righty. So what is Access Denied Parent Show?
So Access Denied is just, man, it's like this. We just do it in the daytime. And, some parents go to work in the morning, some parents go to work in the afternoon. So we do a show, late morning, and we just get on there and just talk straight up about education, the good, celebrating things, the bad, and the ugly. And so that's Access Denied. It's just, it's interactive. Parents chime in, they give their feedback, they talk about what's going on in their school. And if we hear too many things, negative things is going on, like we want to organize them so we can do something about it.
All righty. So here's my thing. We've got a lot of the business. I don't know how much long you got for me, so I know how to gauge my show.
Oh yeah, I got about 5 more minutes.
All righty. So here we go. So what is John Little's guilty pleasure?
Man, I'm not gonna even tell a lie, and I done gave it up for December. That's my Lent, but it's hookah. Like I'm a avid hookah smoker because it's the lounge I go to. They got the games on, whether it's basketball, football, or other. You get a chance to smoke, chill, but you also get a chance to knock out some work. So after a long day at work, and I need to still finish some work, like that's a place I go and hang out and just keep focused. But also chill. And my friends and I, we call it the office because we do a lot of business meetings out of there, just because of the amenity.
So if I was to get in your car right now, what would be playing on the radio?
It could be a number of things. I just got the Apple Music, review of 2024. You got some NPR and politics on there. You got some Gracie's Corner. You got some R&B soul, but you also got some trap music, some ESTG, some Lil Baby, because you know we blended.
are we are the most involved fathers when it comes to fatherhood. But of course, in the media, they're going to make us look worse than it actually is.
Always.
They're trying to tear us down at every avenue, every aspect of the situation. They're gonna try to tear us down and make us look like we're way less than whatever we are. When in actuality, the black father to me, and I'm not just saying it because I'm a black man, but the black father to me is the hardest working father on this earth, because we were born with two strikes against us the day we popped out of the womb, and that was being male and that was being melanated.
Yeah, you can say that again.
So you know what I'm saying? We dropped. We came out the womb with two strikes against us. So what are we supposed to do? We've some of us fell victim to the shenanigans and the all the malarkey that was put out here in the world to try to make us deviate from who we were supposed to be and who we were. But 80% of us grew up in a home where we either had a horrible father, male role model in our lives, or we grew up with no real male role model in the house with us. So that, like he said, we both had the same agenda of making sure that we were better than our fathers, because we didn't really have fathers, so we didn't really have anything to base it off of. But I agree with what he said. My biggest thing was I didn't want my children to feel the way I felt being a kid growing up with no real strong male structure in the household. So I didn't want my kids to feel that whatsoever. So it was like, I'm not gonna do this. I'm not gonna do this. I'm going to change the narrative. I'm going to change the way they look at us. I'm going to change the way that they see us, and just make a difference. What's up, Bubba?
What's going on, gentlemen? How y'all doing?
Good doing wonderful.
If y'all don't hear it enough, I'm going to gladly tell y'all some damn good fathers. If you don't hear it enough, you are some damn good fathers. Trust me, I know.
Thank you, sir.
Appreciate you.
But
you know what we're doing. We ending our lovely day.
How was your day in the yellow machine there, Bubba?
Hey, well, they don't make it easy on you. They don't make it easy, but hey, it's all right.
He said they don't make it easy on you. Dave, you couldn't do it?
No, sir. I have to pull that bus over and whip some tail and get fired.
Not whooping somebody's kids, man.
Look here. Y'all come get the bus. Come get the bus and the kids. I know. I'm done.
Exactly.
Not whipping somebody's kids.
Look, I done told you to sit down 3 times. I'm driving the bus. You bouncing around from seat to seat. Y'all don't have no seatbelts on. If I happen to slam on the brakes because I have an incident in front of me, now you go flying, and now I gotta fill out a whole report. We ain't having that.
No. See, that's my motto. I don't like doing paperwork. Every kid that ride my bus can tell you that. What's the one thing that Mr. John don't like? He do not like doing paperwork. If I do some paperwork, it's gonna cost you.
Man,
I don't like doing paperwork.
Man, look, when Mr. What's John's last name?
Little.
John Little. That's right. When Mr. Little was talking about Propel, it had me going back. When I was in Virginia, we had a really strong PTA at the local elementary school when youngest son was there, and all of a sudden, things happen. Things change. Everything is always in constant change, but things. The president left, and the next president stepped up, and it wasn't run the same, and it lost momentum. But we had a really strong PTA for about 3 or 4 years. It faded out. Then I moved here to Nashville, and I tried to get involved in PTA, and it became a political thing and a clique thing. If you weren't part of the clique, then your suggestions or your ideas never got acted on, or even you mention it, but then there would never be any follow through. So I can talk about White's Creek because that's what I deal with. But if your children aren't reading on grade level, I can only hold a school responsible for so much. As a parent, I've got to get involved, and I've got to do my due diligence. And if I know my child is not on reading level, we've got to do something every day, because reading is rote learning. And the more they go over those words and those sounds, the more they're going to pick those things up. And I think the main thing is making children understand that their education is a priority in the parent's mind. We set the expectation. To them, it's just something that they have to do. They got to go to school. They got to do these things. But if the parent makes them understand, this is important to me that you learn this, I think that has a positive effect on the entire process.
See, you just said what I say every day. The question I asked every day: if y'all want us to transport them to and from, y'all want us to feed them, y'all want us to feed their soul and feed their mind, what y'all doing? Really, what are y'all doing? I mean, it's only so much I can do. At some point in time, it's only so much that the school can do. At some point in time, parents have to get involved. And you can tell the kids that do good. You can tell which kids' parents are involved, and I do mean involved. And you can tell the kids whose parents are not involved. Trust me. You can tell, because I got one that's on my elementary that I don't care what we do. I don't care what we do to him. I don't care. It just in one ear, out the other. Call mom, dad. It don't change nothing. I mean, I put him on the bus, 3 times this year already?
Really?
He working on his 4th.
Well, one thing I can say, the young man is consistent.
Right. He is really... Hey, he is consistent with it. He said, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it all the way. I'm going to do it every time.
And see, what gets me is most of my principals know that if I come into school